Hello friends and welcome back to another episode of Bankers Help series. Friends, every week I get queries from bankers and NBFC professionals from across India. And each query tells me one thing, that banking is not just about rules in the books, but it's about complex real life situations that test our judgment, our integrity, and our ability to protect not only our bank or NBFC but also our own neck. And today's episode is about one such real life case that was sent to me by a chief manager of a bank. It's a case that looks simple on the surface, but when you open it up, you will find multiple layers. Now, before moving ahead, friends, it's very important that you hit the like button on this video because this shows that you are liking the series and it also helps me to create more such helpful videos and also continue the series. So let me first read out the case to you exactly as it was sent to me. Dear sir, I am handling a working capital cash credit account of rupees 200 lakhs. This account was secured by hypothecation of stock and receivables and mortgage of 3 immovable properties. Last year the borrower requested release of one of the properties due to family settlement. Our sanctioning authority approved the release subject to a condition that drawing power should be reduced by 15 lakhs every quarter, so that the limit would come down from rupees 200 lakhs to rupees 140 lakhs in 1 year. But here is where things went wrong. The branch never deducted the DP as per sanction terms. In November 2024, the account received credits of rupees 80 lakhs, but these were not adjusted against repayment. Instead, the branch permitted outward RTGS including rupees 12 lakhs transferred to the proprietor's personal account in another bank. Now I have recently taken charge as chief manager. During inspection, I found there is no stock, no production activity and business is practically closed. To make matters worse, we also discovered that one of the guarantors has already sold part of the land that was supposed to be mortgaged with the bank. Mutation entries were never updated. The account is due for review in a month. Sir, what should be the correct course of action for me now? Should I propose review? Should I recall the advance? How do I protect myself from accountability from past lapses? Friends, I am sure whichever position you are working in your bank or NBFC, this is the kind of challenge every branch manager faces at some point in their career. Now friends, before moving ahead, a quick reminder. All these kind of tricky, real-life scenarios are covered in my latest book, The Field as Banker. It has 39 practical case studies with step-by-step analysis, just like the one we discussed today. If you have ever faced a suspicious loan proposal, a nominee dispute, a customer threatening legal notice, or an NPA scare, this book is your ready reckoner. The link to order this book is there in description, so order your copy today and make yourself a fearless banker. So to make the reply clear, I will break it down in a step-by-step manner. Now step 1 is the core issues in the case. Friends, there are 5 big problems staring at us in this case. First is violation of sanction terms. As you can see, DP was supposed to be reduced gradually, but it never happened. Then second is collateral dilution. That is, one property released without ensuring cover, while another was secretly sold by guarantor. Then third is diversion of funds, where proprietor transferring rupees 12 lakhs to his personal account. Then fourth is non-operational unit. As you can see, there was no stock, no production and no turnover. And lastly, there are accountability questions. That is, past officers failed to monitor and now the new officer is stuck. Friends, the moment you have 2 or 3 red flags in a credit account, you know it's serious. And this is not business as usual. Then step 2 is what not to do. Now, many of us in banking have this habit that when an account is due for review, we simply prepare the papers, attach balance sheets and forward it to the controlling office. But friends, here is the reality. That is, renewal or review is not automatic. It is justified only when account is alive, performing and compliant. And in our case, the account is none of these. There is no stock, no business and sanction conditions are violated. So if you go ahead and propose renewal, then basically you are digging your own grave. Because tomorrow when account becomes NPA, your name will be the first one in the accountability note. So the first lesson here is clear. That is, don't treat this as a routine review case. Then step 3 is immediate action for the new manager. Friends, if I were in the shoes of this chief manager, then here is the exact roadmap I would follow. First is document everything. That is, prepare a factual inspection report and also mention no stock, no operations, DP not reduced, diversion of funds and also collateral dilution clearly in the report. Also, don't use vague language, be specific. Then second is record in the charge note. That is, as soon as you take over, always prepare a charge taking note. With respect to this account, clearly write sanction terms not implemented prior to my joining. And my friend, this protects you later during any audit or vigilance inquiry. Then third is report to controllers. So send a detailed factual report to regional office or zonal office and also don't hide anything. The earlier you escalate, the safer you are. Then next, restrict further exposure. That is, don't allow fresh debits except for interest and bank charges, and also ensure that any credits are adjusted towards repayment. The next one is initiate recovery. Start with a recall notice, begin SARFAESI proceedings on the remaining properties, and lastly, you should also explore compromise or OTS if the borrower is cooperative. And lastly, you need to escalate the fraud angle. Because guarantor selling mortgage land is not just a lapse, but it's actually a potential fraud. So immediately escalate for forensic or legal examination. Then step 4 is the legal and regulatory angle. Friends, as per RBI guidelines and SARFAESI Act, any dilution of security without proportionate reduction of limit is considered a serious lapse. Also, diversion of funds can lead to classification of borrower as willful defaulter. Lastly, fraudulent sale of mortgage property can lead to FIR and criminal proceedings. So this is not just a credit decision, it's also a compliance and vigilance matter. Then step 5 is what should be written in the review note. Now many of you may ask now, okay sir, but what do we actually write in the review proposal? So friends, here's how I would frame it. First is I will write with respect to present position, that is account outstanding is rupees dash lakhs secured by dash properties. On property released earlier, another partially sold. Then next is with respect to irregularities, I will write DP not reduced, no stock, no business operations, diversion noticed. Then next action recommended would be non-renewal, facility to be recalled, recovery steps initiated, SARFAESI to be invoked and fraud angle under examination. Lastly, you will request for guidance, that is, controllers may advise further action. Now friends, this way you are not covering up. You are also not blaming anyone. You are just stating facts and recommending logical action. So as the last step, let's see what are the lessons for all the bankers here. So the first lesson is never release collateral without immediate limit reduction. Then second is sanction stipulations are binding, implement them on time. Then third is diversion of funds equals danger signal, so act immediately. Then next is business viability must always be tested by stock inspections and GST matching. Then as a new officer, document irregularities and escalate. Don't inherit any blame. And lastly, fraudulent disposal of security is not just a credit issue, it's a criminal matter. So friends, that's my detailed reply to the chief manager's query. I hope this case has given you deep insights into how to handle similar situations in your own bank or NBFC. So thank you, and I will meet you again in another video next week.